Was a lot, my keys are lost, I'm reeking of beer.
Well, I'm not fussed, no, I've had a good night. The cheap drinks, the good friends, the bright lights. I've been out here living my nightlife. The whole time you haven't crossed my mind. And my friends said you weren't the right type. And you've made it pretty clear that right. Tomorrow's headspins be alright. Cause I'm starting my new chapter. I've had enough, yeah, friends, enough. Yeah, I've had enough, I've had enough. Yeah, friends, enough. Yeah, I've had you wanted, I've had enough. Yeah, friends.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Gear Hungry. I'm Stefan Rapazzo, joined with Liam Grant for this power pool matchup between Germany and Switzerland. Liam, how are you this morning?
I'm having a lovely day. 2 games under the belt already.
Wow, cranking them out early.
Sure am. Delighted to be here with you, Stefan Rapazzo. This is our first game we've been doing together.
I know, we put in our picks for games. It's usually game matchups. I'd like to do Germany, Switzerland. I'd like to do blah, blah, this and that. Liam, I was very flattered to see on your selections for games you want to cover was simply my name. I felt bad that I didn't give it back, but you know I was in Hannah's ear to let us do this one together.
Yeah.
We've got a good one. Swiss starting off quickly here, pulls already up. German O-line picks it up and gets going despite it almost rolling out. They don't want to walk back to the corner, just get it going straight away. This German O-line, very prolific. Some high-profile players, a lot of the bad skid unit directing traffic for the O-line. Waldvogel and Müller back and forth in their own end zone right now. Swiss come with a bit of a prevent defense. 3 up front, taking away the big throws, taking away the center lanes. Nico Müller.
Yeah, the Swiss kind of building a wall in front of the Germans here. I have a feeling Switzerland are going to play zone predominantly through this game.
There's just enough wind, isn't there, for zone. I suspect we're going to see a lot of zone either way. We'll see how they deal with it, if they go with the patient approach as we're seeing right now, or if they start to bust things open with some creative, exciting throws. Nico Müller with the disc. Waldvogel. There's a gainer to rein it. Patient attack. They've moved past half. They get through the cup with that one. Reinert. Waldvogel, you hear the calls for the Swiss defense to melt. Müller gets his first touch, the big superstar of this team, and his second touch is an assist to his brother, Samuel Müller.
Yeah, brotherly love there, an easy goal for Germany. Yeah, this matchup is going to be a little strange, I think, for our viewers. Try and give you an understanding of what's going on. So I'll talk to you some of the results for Germany first in this tournament. Won their first game 15-8 against Russia. Tied this game so far 15-10 against the Italians. Also won 15-6 against Latvia, 15-1 against Slovakia, 15-6 against Austria, and that's in this men's power pool. Disposed of Ireland 15-5 this morning. And actually, Switzerland lost Austria 15-10 and beat the Irish on Universe Point yesterday evening, game we were supposed to be streaming, but ended up did not beat them 13-12. So I think even if Switzerland was to win this game, they'd have to win by a massive margin to finish ahead of Germany. I think they're very well of that. I think they have to beat them by about 15-5, which I don't think is going to happen. I think they are capable of beating this German team by a huge margin. It's not going to happen. So we saw Switzerland come out with a zone there. I think they're going to be resting a few of their top players. They're going to play a lot of zone. They're going to try and, you see their O-line out now. That's their top O-line, but they're going to probably look to huck quite a lot and not burn themselves out in this game.
Let's see how this pans out. Swiss O-line take their line for the first time of the game, 1-0 early for the Germans. Switzerland, Miglioretto gets things going. Miglioretto again, playing with Van Bassen. Behind the disc, free speed teammates, a lot of free speed on this unit. Van Bassen looked to go wide, but still happy to go back and forth with Miglioretto on the far sideline, a little bit more wind-friendly over there. Trap sideline towards our cameras. Miglioretto. Patient, lots of space to go back and forth, side to side here against this German zone. Until then, run through defense for the Germans.
That's Konrad Schlor, the pony man, showing his pace.
Now the Germans with a short field and the wind at their back for a break. Rush. Hugin now centered. Tries the dad backhand look, switches hands to get the backhand off. Now back to Holta. Holta for goal, that one counts. Hugin cashes in, Germans up with a break 2-0 early, Liam.
Yeah, Lasse Hogan, one of the Hässliche Erdwerkel players on this team. There's been a lot of talk about Stefan Doscher, but we also got to give a shout out to Lasse Hogan, who has been sensational in the mixed division and now in the men's division. Some of his teammates on the German mixed team were telling me that he needs to get more recognition than he probably has gotten. So a shout out to him. So I was covering the Germany game yesterday with Benji Rees in their annihilation of the Austrian team, and we were having a bit of fun.
Having a laugh.
We drifted away from Ultimate quite a lot in that game. I think we were both slightly disappointed we got changed game in the last minute. Not to say I don't really enjoy the Germany and Austrian teams, but I had a feeling it was going to be a landslide victory, which it was.
And what was the game they switched for?
We brought in Germany-Austria and got rid of the Switzerland-Ireland game, which was the Universe Point game.
Oh, Universe Point and your beloved Irish. Shame that one was missed, but them's the way the cookies crumble, I suppose.
Yeah, and the Irish team will be up against Austria in the next round in this power pool, which will play influence on Switzerland, because if Ireland was to beat Austria, it's likely that Switzerland would end up finishing bottom in a three-way tie. So Ireland have only lost narrowly by 1 point to Switzerland, but Switzerland losing by 5 to the Austrians. So if Ireland was to beat Austria by, I think, 2 points or more, they'd finish second. If they beat them by 3 or more, they'd finish top. Either way, it would be Switzerland kind of getting pushed down.
Brudelin dumps off to Glor. Glor again. Feeling the burn from the Flying Angels of Bern. Glor. Niv. Swiss still looking at a arrowhead style here. A lot of lane poaching. No space to throw immediately, but they get a gainer around the side. Sideline action, Metzger. Metzger in for not quite, now on the doorstep. Mossyman, he goes all the way around. There is a violation of sorts.
You can see at this point Switzerland brought on an entirely fresh O-line. I can tell you something they wouldn't have done if this game mattered a little more to them, but they're going to use their whole roster. They got a big squad here. When they're on the field, they're going to be trying, there's no doubt about that, but I don't think they're going to burn out their stars in this power pool matchup.
It's one that they're expected to have a tough time with. Oswin Metzger gets the goal there. They're on the board 1-2 in favor of the Germans. So, talking about the top end of this men's division, Liam, we've really narrowed it down to a 2-horse race. We talked yesterday about who might be the third best team. Ireland came up in the conversation. They got dismantled shortly thereafter. The Italians have been in early conversation but haven't had a shining start to this game. Tell us about the 2 at the top and anything else you think might sneak in and find a semis position now that we're in day 3.
Well, yeah, I actually streamed GB in France this morning, and GB, their O-line looked a little bit shaky. Now, I think they won, it was maybe 15-5.
That doesn't sell shaky, that scoreline.
I know, but I'm pretty sure the GB offense turned over most of the time. They've had very few clean points, so compared to the German offense, they rarely turn over. So I think that's why I'm favoring the Germans to take this division. I think the bronze medal could be anyone's game. You just want to try and avoid maybe those 2 in the quarterfinals. But yeah, I think the Italians, I'm sure they're going to bounce back up. The Austrians, the Swiss, the Irish, all with their names in the hat.
It's going to be a great finish to this, and if things go as expected, a Germany-Great Britain final would be a cracking match. Beutenmüller puts it the length of the field, but cannot find his brother this time.
Yeah, the wind just picking up literally as he threw that disc and pushed into the far corner, which is definitely downwind.
Right to left, the wind's been picking up steadily all day, getting hotter hour by hour all day. Over here on field 2, affectionately known as Mordor, the Swiss playing in their own end. Windler centering this offense. Gerber. Ooh, the defense is breathing down the necks of the Swiss cutters. Emersi. Looking for an option, gets nothing but bumped on the mark. That could give him a fresh 10, though.
Yeah, gets a face full of Beutenmüller there for his troubles.
Windler. Gets his under, beyond midfield now. Afrini. Gets the gainer, it's Gerber. Big man being covered by the even bigger German. The slide does not work. Nico Müller picks up and goes to Beutenmüller straight away. A hot cut from the German, but a timeout straight away from Beutenmüller. Everybody will have a break and a good think about this one.
Yeah, the sliding tackle, not the best way to catch a disc. Not sure if he was going for that Dina Elamela catch, the mermaid catch. I don't know if you ever saw that footage of U.S. college nationals caught it between her legs.
Yes, I did see that footage indeed. Yeah, maybe trying to emulate, get a viral catch of her own to spread around the World Wide Web.
Yeah, I think after that catch, it's now appropriate to shout 2 legs at someone when they're catching, not just 2 hands. See some fans having a few brews in the background there.
I hope they're cold ones. They taste so much better in this weather when they are icy cold.
Have you sampled any of the local brews here in Hungary?
I've had a taste or two. The one that's got most of my attention here that I really have not got into are the Radlers. I've been loving the Radlers, a nice, light, super light, citrusy beer. Perfect for after a long day in the sun here. Bringing you all this ultimate coverage from EUC, but get your hands on a cold Radler from the Hungarian supermarkets or bars. We get a couple at the bars too.
Yeah, I think we talked about the Radler, the lesser known Batman villain.
Yes, if you were joining us on the Eurozone feed over at the Sprinkler game from day 2. So, another break opportunity here. It's a hold opportunity.
It sure is.
It's they gave it away, they got it back. And Beutenmüller slowed things down. They come out in a side stack, a bit of a zigzag side stack. Swiss sticking to a match defense. Boyton-Mueller gets Mueller. Some fast, hard cut. Boyton-Mueller's off to the races. Stick it to him straight away. Why not? He's one of the best in Europe. He comes down with that one. It's a goal, even though there is some conversation about his footing.
Yeah. When you have the best player in Europe going deep, you got to stick it to him.
Yeah.
And interesting to see if he stayed in bounds. Maybe it could be a call for being forced out as you see him go up there. There is a small bit of contact in the back, so hard to say whether he's in or out, but I think you could maybe suggest he was forced out, but looks like it's going to be a goal.
Held for a goal. The Swiss happy enough to concede, and the Germans go up 3-1. Have you been enjoying gear so far, Liam? Any excitement of note?
I do enjoy the kind of river network running through the town. Makes it quite scenic.
Very scenic. We got some beautiful sunsets and colors shimmering off it last night.
I'm also surprised at the lack of mosquitoes really in bugs. I haven't got too many bites yet. We actually saw a car at one stage in the middle of the night because we were up in the middle of the night drinking. But driving through the town with like a cloud of smoke coming out of the back of it, and supposedly that gets rid of the mosquitoes.
So having really bad auto mechanics emissions is helpful in gear to keep the bugs away, is it?
Yeah, I got Holger Boyton-Mueller coming up to me.
He wants
wondering if that was inbounds or not.
We think it was from our angle. It looked good. It was potential for a force out as well.
It looked like it was maybe just in for me, but then I would have probably called forced out even if it wasn't. So I think that was the right call.
Good to see he cares about the opinions of the esteemed broadcast crew here at Alti TV. The Swiss pick up and get going the other way. Miglioretto with the disc.
I think we had an opportunity to troll Holger Boyton-Mueller there, Stefan, and we missed it.
We'll get him. Van Basten. Miglioretto. Back to Van Basten. Swiss playing side to side in their own end. They want to get themselves some upfields and out of this situation. Stop looking at the front of that German zone. Van Basten goes down cutting. Brudelen gets an upfield. Then a second. Defense was there, but not quick enough. Upfield, Van Basten's got a look. Late stall count goes other way. Brudelen's there. Throw is on, bobbled and kept. Brudelen manages to hang tight. It's 2-3. They pulled back within one early stages of the game.
Yeah, we're seeing David Moses involved in that last little passage of play. David Moser is actually 41 years old. Scored the winning goal in that universe point win against Ireland. Pretty impressive you get called onto the line on the universe point at that man's age, but he is a fantastic player, as you see Robin Brudelen getting a goal.
For the Swiss. As we say, the Swiss, or we spoke about the Germans mostly made, they got that 9 players from Bad Skid. The Swiss, 2 predominant clubs there that make up for about 2/3, they say. A third Free Speed, a third of the Flying Angels, and the remaining third split between 3 or 4 clubs throughout Switzerland.
Yeah, I do know Aaron Ridley coming from the Crazy Dogs, I believe from stands.
Yeah.
Plays a little bit of free speed every now and again in maybe bigger tournaments. Had an incredible layout grab way back in Lecco. Was kind of the highlight of the tournament almost.
Now Germany. Feldvogel and Müller behind the disc. Bola. Feldvogel to Müller. Side to side, and they get in front there. Müller chased down hard and really opened up Feldvogel for the clean dump. Bola. Boyton-Müller. Holger continues it. Man call out of the defense. They melt. Nico Müller, all sorts of space. Now the mark comes, but the throw goes simultaneously. Rima. Beutenmuller. Beutenmuller for goal. He's got his man. It's Florian Bola with the goal. Germans tack on another.
Yeah, this German train just keeps on chugging away, scoring all their 0 points so far.
They look very strong. I don't know what kind of tactics there are to employ to stop them. The Swiss talked about flipping things upside down, flip the script, throw the kitchen sink kind of thing, and I think they also were suggesting that they might be having to throw some big hammers and crafty throws to blow things up. We haven't seen them start throwing yet, but understandable that a team like this, your strategies, you kind of got to try a bit of everything, see what you can get away with, because they're really so sound from top to bottom on that roster.
So this is actually the third game for Germany being live streamed. I think they were a little annoyed. They said that Great Britain hadn't been streamed at all yet, but we got them in this morning. But I think they're worried about teams scouting them, getting a little game footage. So at least they'll have one game of Great Britain to check up on, which I no doubt they will. I'm a big fan of these German white jerseys, actually, Stefan. I know we talked about best jerseys of the tournament. What I really like is it's very subtle. There's actually a German flag within all the numbers on the back of their jerseys. So each number, different shapes, different designs, so they're squeezing the German flag there, but it's very subtle, which I like.
Yeah, it's I rate the Germans and the French as the nicest kind of clean jerseys, like no design heavy, clear numbers, you know, mostly white. They've got some subtle light gray polka dots in there that the camera wouldn't pick up from the field unless we zoomed right in, but both very clean, tidy jerseys. Have you picked a favorite yet? Does Denmark end up being your final choice for favorite jersey?
No, I do like theirs, but it was here 4 years ago. You know, it's kind of a little out of trend now. Got to get with the times. I think I'm liking this Germany white at the moment.
Number 1 jersey. I'm a big fan of the Belarusian. I think it's their alternate strip. It's got the red top on it with a bit of a wave there as we see a slap away D, and the Germans strike straight away. Gone. That one counts. The Germans are very dangerous. Konrad Schlor. Wow, no time for anything in transition.
Yeah, David Moses unfortunately having to probably compete with one of the fastest men in the field there in that quick transition offense from the Germans, wasting no time. Brilliant hand block in the lane, picks it up and fires it to the end zone. And Moser's not necessarily losing yards, but never going to gain on the speedy Konrad Schlor. That a buttery biscuit for sure, Stefan.
For sure. And do you have a least favorite jersey in the competition?
That is a great question.
You can't say the volunteer shirts.
I do not like the Slovakia jersey. It's quite big, blue, and busy. I think the busier the jersey is, the less I'm probably going to like it.
I'm normally with that, except the Belarus one has kind of got me. It's a little bit busy, and that's the one I can tolerate and I actually like. But I've got 2 of my that I will qualify as neck and neck for my least favorite. Are the lime greenies, the Slovenians and Lithuania. I'd be hard pressed to put that one on, look in the mirror, and put a big smile on my face. Switzerland taking on this juggernaut German team here. Miglioretto gets again directing traffic, asking for Van Basten to flank wider. He gets it. Back to Miglioretto and Van Basten again. Swiss chipping away bit by bit, get the under, but by the time he establishes pivot, he's further back. They shoot the other way. Germans read it well.
Robin Brudelin gets it on the second attempt, not the intended target. Another deposit in the bank account for Switzerland.
Wow, the umbrella here, I saw the smack away, didn't even see the Robin Brudelin being Johnny on the spot, catching the second effort after that mac out.
Yeah, the score now, 5-3. Germans still in the lead. And I think we're going to see Switzerland just quite a lot. A good box out, but able to get a tip there, and Brudelin backing up his teammate.
Johnny on the spot, great second effort by Brudelin. Way to stay focused after the defensive smack away.
Yeah, that one in the Swiss bank account. Score 5-3, we can tell you that. Can't tell you how much is in your Swiss bank account though. If you're looking to stash some money somewhere.
Yeah, my pockets are always a good spot. Send it this way.
So yeah, 5-3 to score. You just bought a 5-panel hat, did you not, yesterday?
I did buy a new 5-panel hat, the Lucky Grass merch tent. Got some great swag over there. Go on over and check it out. If not, get online and take a look what's on offer. The gray Gior hat with the rose-shaped Gior emblems, the one I got, which is obviously my taste picks the best ones. Germans go deep straight away, right on the doorstep. One pass, Dosche, Beutenmüller. Dosche, wow, these Germans are efficient. Like a fine-tuned BMW, they get back into that end zone with no trouble at all.
Yeah, revving their engines all the way to the end zone. Stefan Dosche getting that first initial deep puck. Didn't have really any separation, but you can see this is maybe going to turn a bit of a hooking game. Just having some fun out here.
I think I discussed that with one of the camera crew before the game, hoping we would see a open fire game here. And the first 2 points, we saw both teams taking their time, chipping away a bit of patience against the zone, and we may see that on the polls, but I suspect if we get into a transition game that it's going to really open up, and we're going to see a lot of throws going field length.
See a replay of that again. And I like this Usher, when he doesn't get all the way in zone, looks for the pop pass and goes for that shake and bake. You see him there after receiving, popping it back to Holger and just going to the front corner again, catching his defender napping.
Here comes the Swiss O-line. They have to make a few changes here and there. They've been out there a bit more than any other line right now, with the German D-lines switching between two units. Miglioretto working with Mosa, Metzger, Brudelin. This one floaty. German defender's the bigger man, and he gets the swatting mitt to it, does Gross.
Yeah, and a Gross. Gross actually meaning big in German. And he's gone to the end zone now, the big man looking for the double happiness, and that was a bit forced there from Young.
Young, too much mustard on that one. Overcooked it. Miglioretto walking it back to the goal line. Miglioretto looking to wind one up. Instead, dumps, gets it back again. Mosiman. German defense everywhere. Layout D there, possibly some contact, no contest. Swiss will continue, but they will remember how close that defense is getting. Miglioretto wound up and held back again. He's just not too trigger happy, wary of what he sees downfield from the defense. Goodness, Gross there, breathing down the neck for another. Riedel. Glor. Glor again, playing with Miglioretto. The free speed fab combo behind the disc. Miglioretto, Brutalin, Metzger. Ooh, that one into traffic to Mosiman. Now Miglioretto moves for him. He goes hammer, just exactly what we wanted to see. He's got Brutal in there. Got himself a goal. The Swiss using the unorthodox zone-busting throws to get on the board. And like they said, they're flipping things upside down.
Yeah, that is a combination you see so often. That's a throw they do day in, day out. The Brutalin Luca combination. Actually played against him at EUCF before. Wood Pelt. We ended up in a universe point situation, and that's exactly what they did. True big cross-field hammer for the goal. Miglioretto has that in his arsenal all day long, and everyone on the team knows it, so they set up that cut. Just give him the little eyes, and he puts it out to the breakside space, and it's so hard as a defender to shut that down. You're supposed to be taking away most of the open side unders, so to guard that space on the other side of the end zone is near impossible. So the score 6-4 now to Germany. Almost half an hour gone. Team's just kind of tic-tacking away here.
Switzerland staying in it, finding ways to score. That one, that's a beautiful way to score. We love that last one. I hope to see more of that. Germans definitely look the stronger part, but the Swiss are by no means out of this game. Reinert. Feldvogel. Back to Feldvogel. Beutenmüller. Match defense with a bit of a switching mark. Beutenmüller gets it again. Now to Müller. Beutenmüller. Holger gets it to Müller. That one floats. Defense. Windler knocks it away. Bola calls a foul. There was a bit of contact. It had already gone well over his head.
Yeah, timed his jump to the opposite of perfection there. Went up about 1 or 2 seconds earlier and retracts the call.
I think that's the right move. I think his teammates may have helped him with that one. Good spirit there, and I think resolved properly. Shot to end zone. There is a defender there. He happens to be a Beutenmüller, and that makes that an ill-advised huck.
Hey, nochmal Weiß! Sein wie gutes Ding hin, hol sie wieder!
We hear Jan Schmidt backing out the orders on the sideline. Terrifying on and off the field.
Jan Schmidt, this is the first tournament he's played without his twin brother Lars, who's away overseas teaching goodwill. And of course, Jan, very familiar with the Swiss side, played last season with Swiss club Flying Angels. Wow. Holgen Beutenmüller goes down holding his lower back. That was a very athletic catch, but spun, perhaps got a knee into the back of Beutenmüller, did Chad Gerber.
Yeah, that's exactly what they don't want from this game. More than anything is to injure one of their top players. I think he's going to be okay, but you can see he was annoyed that he ended up in that situation. As we'll just play again, you see he goes for the poach deep, pulls out, and just gets a knee to the back.
I think you're right.
WWE style there.
Yeah. Like AFL, Australia, Aussie rules footy, mate. It's a specky. But obviously with no intent, it looks like Holger will be fine. Walks off a bit gingerly on his own power, though. Blattler. That one to end zone, too far. He couldn't bid. It didn't seem that much further out in front, but couldn't get the footing to launch himself.
Yeah, going to be seeing plenty of this hucking game. Thought he was going to be able to run that one down.
Love a good hucking game.
I don't think he was prepared to throw his body on this harder turf field. I actually quite like turf fields when it's wet and you tend to slide across them, but when it's just hot and dry, you're going to get a bit of a burn.
Oh, I've seen a lot of cases of that walking around the tournament. A lot of raspberries, a lot of missing layers. People pay the price for throwing their body on the line. Making plays Boyton Mueller, the youngest of the contingent. 3 Boyton Mueller brothers on this German team. Samuel, Michael, and Olga. Mueller does not take it. Instead, Bola to Boyton Mueller. Waldfovel. Bola. I thought he was wearing pants. He's wearing tights under the shorts, but wow, he must be hot with that extra bit of coverage. But protection against this turf. Mueller. Oh, baiting rather, Swiss defenders. The throw didn't go. Germans chipping away at the paint here of the Swiss defense. Now they get a one through to Boyton Mueller. Good pickup there by Waldfovel. Swiss throwing hands in the air to melt into a match defense. Boyton Mueller gets the under, but there's a call on the play back to Stefan Dorsche.
Yeah, slow, steady offense here from the Germans, not trying anything spicy. Unlike the Swiss, has to be said.
High throw count for the Germans. Boyton Mueller with the disc, attacking end. Mueller goes wide. Bola. Cheeky throw over the shoulder. That one's in for a goal. Dorsche collects. It's 7-4 Germany.
Just checking out the YouTube live stream now. If you're watching on YouTube, leave some comments in the live chat. Give some shout outs. We're watching, listening. Apparently there was no sound earlier. Hoping there is sound. Let me know if there is. So Anna Reusch is playing with the German national side here, but actually played last season with Free Speed, the Swiss team, who almost made it to the top 8 of the World Ultimate Club Championships, taking half against Revolver. Some team from America, don't really know him.
Never heard of him. Revolver. They play? Are they any good?
Not anymore. They used to be.
They lost. Pony's good now. Revolver's just like week-old leftovers.
Yeah, shout out to the Austrian national team, who I covered yesterday in what was some lackadaisical coverage, has to be said, by me and Benji Rees. Maybe took the LOL train a little too far. Went a little off the tracks, but we're back on track now.
Any commenters notice?
Yes, quite a few. Wondering why we weren't analyzing the match. And I had my reasons. But focusing on analysis now, shout out to Patrick FM, who is part of the WFDF, did a great job organizing an event down in Shirahama, Japan. Might be seeing him fairly shortly in Shanghai. So yeah, I confirm there is sound. They are hearing us.
Excellent.
Whether they choose to have the volume up or down is up to them.
Right, I'd hate for them to be deprived of our genius. Miglioretto. Gets it center. A lot of gust in this wind here. These passes popping up just a little bit as they continue, making it very difficult for the receiving end. Müller on the Swiss side now, dumps back to Miglioretto. German defenders just staying in the lane as their dumps go back, forcing the Swiss to go backwards. Van Bassen goes to Odermatt. Van Bassen, he sticks it deep. Müller's under it. German defense was in front but missed on the spike, and the Swiss bring it back to within 2.
That was Kasper Müller for the Swiss side. Didn't think he had position, wasn't sure where to get it, but just emphatically goes up, reels it in. Was able to read it better than I could anyway from over here. Thought he was in the wrong position. Shows what I know.
I had a similar perspective as you, Liam. One, because we're in chairs right next to each other, but two, I really think the German player misread that. He had position, it got over him, and the Swiss player just played the disc rather than the man and walked away with the goal.
We had a fun journey to the fields this morning. I'm also doing a little shout out for the Slovenian team who brought a speaker onto the bus and banging out some tunes. We had some Backstreet Boys, we had YMCA. Enjoyable experience.
YMCA, some ABBA, some Bohemian Rhapsody. Was that Backstreet Boys? I thought it was NSYNC. Benji Reese here to confirm. I want it that way. I can't give you more than that. I was butchering it on the bus, but
tell me why, Stefan.
Ain't nothing but all right. I can't tell you why.
I think that's enough of the Backstreet Boys for now. We're going down a dangerous road yet again. But yeah, shout out to the Slovenians. Great to have them here. It was back in 2011. We had the European Ultimate Championships in Maribor, Slovenia. Not too far away from here.
Great tactics by the EUF to utilize Eastern Europe to host these events to ensure opportunity for some of the Eastern European countries to get their teams in, where if it was Northwestern Europe, they may not be able to send full squads or get full teams there, knowing that bringing it here, the well-invested, older, more established clubs of Western Europe will travel and making it easier to get better representation of the continent.
Yeah, it's going to be in Limerick, Ireland in 4 years' time, as decided by me as of now.
Could you tell us a poem about it?
I could.
You got time for that one if you'd like it.
Yeah, I'm going to spend the next half coming up with a 4-line limerick. No, but yeah, I'm going to maybe throw a little bit in sometime soon to have it in the west of Ireland. Mix it up a little bit. I could be the new Zoltan. Hashtag Liam.
Leetan. Grantan. Zoltania. That would be a good city to host it into if we could get the EUF to host the next one in Zoltania.
All right, timeout is over. Germany coming out here, going upwind on offense to take half.
Miglioretto, beautiful pull, going to settle in the end zone towards the back of it. Müller already has it at front and center. He gives and really gets going. Doesn't get the disc. Now everybody coming under big pick there. Cuts off Severin Rees. Boyden Müller. Samuel. Upline to Müller. Bid comes around his hip. Doesn't get a touch. Boyden Müller gets again. Swung wide, sweet chariot style. Reinert. High stall count. Low throw. Turnover. Swiss going the other way. Wind at their back. Metzger's got the disc. He gets it to Severin Rees. Rees swings across to Müller. That one just picked up by Glur, but up, and the Germans on the sideline help. That one knocked away. Rees gets a whole bunch of body. We'll see if he comes up claiming foul or not.
Interesting passage of play. Glure with an incredible catch, almost sliding backwards. Just kind of accelerating towards the ground to sweep that one up.
Like he chucked his feet out from under him there. And there we see the play. You gotta think there's a foul there. Whole bunch of contact. They are still working it out. The throw may have been too high. That may be part of the conversation, but regardless, players out there have to do a bit better of a job preventing that kind of contact if they don't want the fouls to go against them.
Have some people in the YouTube comments wondering, is this self-refereed? And yes, it is. So the players now deciding amongst themselves what happened. They're going to come to their own resolution.
One of the beautiful elements of this sport, self-refereeing, which is all hinged on the spirit of the game. If you're new viewers out there, have a look at it. Check out the Woof Duff page, read about the spirit of the game, but it essentially makes it self-governed under the pretense that we're all going to make good, honest decisions, as we're a big sporting community above anything, above teams, above being individuals.
And to me, that was probably a foul. Looks like the German player probably initiated contact. I think in USAU, that probably wouldn't be a foul. He got up and over the player. Look, oh, it's retracted, so yeah, no call.
No call made. Interesting. Germans. Feldvogel gets it into Müller. Müller jacks it. Good looking throw, flat and deep. Feldvogel catches up. Müller wanted it, but he goes over top to the other Müller with a beautiful high release backhand over the shoulder. Germans take half. It's 8-5.
He almost put a halo on one of the Swiss players there, giving him a bit of a haircut. And he throwing his hands up, he might have been able to stop that high release backhand. Got a lot of spin on that. That's going upwind. Very difficult to throw the backhand that high, but he's been sensational this tournament. You see Holger in pursuit there as well, and Feldvogel looking the quickest of the pack.
Great chase. Müller barking for the dump. But what a throw for goal. So 8-5, the Germans out in front by 3 goals here in the first half. They're gonna have a break, get a bit of hydration and a good chat about it. We're gonna do a bit of the same. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be back in no time with second half action from Gear.
Yeah, we'll be back with Stefan Rapazzo's tattoo story just before halftime finishes. Stay tuned for that.
All right. So, back again, Liam. You had some questions earlier.
It's story time, Stefano. Halftime story time. So yeah, I told a tattoo story yesterday. I want you to tell me about your new tattoo, is it?
It is my newest piece, my newest addition. I was very lucky. I have a good friend in Australia who was in Paris for a tattoo convention, but he had a day on the day before it started. He had a free day, and he called me and asked me if I was looking for any work, and I said, well, in fact, I am, and I had a bit of a piece in mind. So he came over and was able to do it ended up being a 10.5-hour piece on my back in my apartment, which was pretty cool. But the design was one that was very special to me because I was taking on some of my insecurities with my gorilla-like amount of back hair. So it is essentially a tattoo of hair with two faces that come out either side. And both of those faces are nicknames I earned in my Frisbee playing days. One, a warthog, as it resembles my running style and my sweating ability. And the other, a silverback gorilla, because of my long arms and hairiness. So I've got that coming across my back. And yeah, it was a tattoo I'm very happy with. Looks great. Vision Tattoo Studio in Gold Coast is where my man Raf sets up business. So if you're ever in Australia, go check him out. Otherwise, yeah, we'd love to hear your tattoo stories as well. We'll see if we can give you a look at it one of these days. Well, it might be tough while in the press box here, though.
Yeah, so you got nicknamed the gorilla. I think a lot of the Aussies tend to call me orangutan or ranga.
Ranga.
Don't know if I'll be getting an orangutan tattoo anytime soon. Can safely say no hair on my back, though. Makes me streamline fast in the water.
Yep, definitely. They easier to get into those barrels you're riding lately in that Irish Atlantic coast.
That's the one. It's actually flat at the moment, so made the good decision to come here, enjoy Hungary in the summertime, back to Ireland for the wild winter.
And you're on tour now, are you, Liam, for the bulk of the summer? Next stop, Heidelberg?
Next stop, Heidelberg. Supposedly going to Shanghai, if they let me into China.
And what is the Shanghai event? Refresh my memory.
That is the Asian Oceanic Ultimate Guts Championships.
Okay.
I think. I'm pretty sure. That'll be pretty cool. Actually had a great time in Japan. So I'm excited to get back to Asia. I know very little about Shanghai, to be honest with you, but I will research it before I go.
Exciting times, though. The Asian Ultimate Circuit, a awesome circuit. I lived in South Korea for a few years, so was able to bring the Korean team to many of their first international tournaments. A beloved team I hold dearly, the Korean Ultimate National Team. Heck of an acronym that went with that, as well as the B team, Korea's less inspired team that followed through. But we did so many good tournaments out there. The Philippines, Bangkok, Malaysia holds a great tournament. Manila Spirits. Where else did we get? Oh, Bali. Great tournament in Bali. Good way to get around out there. Play a tournament, get some waves, get some tropical sun.
Yeah, I actually looked at flights from Shanghai to Bali. Maybe extend my trip a wee bit, going back to Asia. Still haven't been to Bali.
I was going to ask. I highly recommend it. It was one of the most beautiful places I ever went, and I went there at the perfect time because my head was in a difficult place, and I went to Bali, relaxed, unwound, and came out just feeling fantastic on the other side of that holiday.
Yeah, well, halftime is now over. We're back in this one. Liam Grant alongside Stefano Rapazzo.
Here come Switzerland, second half. They are keeping it interesting as anybody has thus far. Still playing from behind. Miglioretto and Van Bassen. These two have lots of experience together. See what they can do with it. We know the hammers have worked, so everybody wants to see a few more hammers. Miglioretto, he is one who's happy to load those up. Moza, Miglioretto. He heard us talk and gives us a hammer. That one's in a swing direction. Now we want the upfields. Forer gets again. Müller, Forer, Miglioretto. Swiss dinking it back and forth around midfield here. Maintaining possession, changing the angle ever so slightly while they chip away at meters. Germans maintaining their zone look here. Miglioretto, Van Basten, now they get a few meters on the sideline. Miglioretto wanted it back, but a great option to swing. Odermatt now, the German switch. Can the Swiss take advantage in transition? Not immediately anyways. Van Basten, back to Forer, and Miglioretto. Miglioretto rips out the hammer, Brudelin's there. He's got another goal. The Swiss chip their way the whole way up the field and finish it in style with a cross-field hammer.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of marking Lico Miglioretto sometimes, and usually when I'm marking him, I'm trying to force not hammer. He can break the mark so well, I just stand there with my hands up in the air and try to lean over him almost to stop that release point of the hammer, because it's such a weapon for him. We see him there just opening up the field earlier on the point.
Like a volleyball blocking kind of hand position there. Locked elbows, leaned over. I mean, somebody who can throw that hammer that well, it's nearly undefendable. If you can sell one backhand or forehand fake, like hip height fake, and then go to the hammer, if it's there, undefendable.
Right you are. We see both Robin Brulin and Luca Miglioretto wearing headbands. They pretty much always do. Konrad Schlur on the German side tends to have something wrapped around his head. It's not something I've ever done.
I've sported a headband, definitely. I've sported every accessory, I think, at one stage or another, but a headband's one I hung on to it for a while. I like the look. We also know Kochkin, evil villain from Russia. He loves a headband.
Unfortunately, no evil villains on the pitch today. All that sound bunch of lads.
Not evil villain, Disney villain. Evil's not the right word. Wonderful man, Kochkin.
Yeah, are there good villains?
I mean, if they're Disney villains, they're not that bad. They're cartoons. They're at least cute. Boydenmuller up line, defense smacks away. Boydenmuller, second effort, keeps it and throws a goal to his brother. There's a little chat or not?
I think Holger's doing the clever thing, just walking away, avoiding any discussion. He knows what happens.
Celebrating like he's been there a million times without even a smile or a raise of the arm, but there is a conversation. So there is a long conversation. In fact, I suspect there would have been a foul on the initial play by the Swiss defender. He bounced it up. It was Odermatt. Bounced it up. Holger got the bounce to go in his favor, as we see here. I'm having a tough time seeing where the foul might be, unless Holger, is Odermatt calling a foul on Holger?
I do not know. Looks pretty clean to me.
It'd be the only thing that I could see why this conversation's still going.
Holger gave us a little flash of his red Under Armour shorts.
Got to keep up the sex appeal for the numbers here. Get our superstars really, working it out there. Got to get them a magazine contracts. Anyways, back into the hands of Boydenmuller. No goal. Back in. Samuel Boyden-Mueller came blistering across, and a great throw there. Holger Boyden-Mueller just pops up and out in front backhand to a streaking Nico Mueller. Germans put 9 on the board to Switzerland 6.
A little update on some of the results happening elsewhere in this venue. Italy mixed up 12-11 on Switzerland mixed. Finish. Women trailing 6-8 to Belgian women. Russia men up 7-4 against France men. Sweden men up 7-3 against the Netherlands. Spain men up 10-5 on Slovakia. Russian women up 10-4 on France. Italy mixed 6-5 up against Russia mixed. And France mixed up 9-3 against Germany mixed. And we're trying to get a little update on from Holger Boyden-Mueller exactly what went on. I think it was just confusion and stoppage. We might get an explanation from my co-commentator.
Yeah, Holger Boyden-Mueller filling us in there on that call. It was a foul called on the defender, but he was, because it bounced up and left, he called the foul, stopped the play because he called the foul, and Holger went on, continued and made the catch. And the Swiss defender said that because he made the foul call, he stopped. So no fault of Holger's. I think they were very spirited in their negotiations to see that back in the hands of Holger Boyden-Mueller rather than being called as a goal from the get-go. Swiss and Miglioretto, Glure, looking to return the favor. Miglioretto has been throwing some cracking hammers in that wind to Metzger there. Great lasering upwind flick. Riedel. Van Bassen. Van Bassen to Glure, keeps his feet really well. Mossiman engages Miglioretto. Back to Mossiman. Gets a nice around to Glure. Big gainer. Travel called, move back, and Metzger scores one throw later.
Brits, Brats, Mitza, Katz. A shout out there for our viewers watching at home. And some nice offense there from the Swiss. Just working the unders, the simple passes. I think this could be the closest game that Germany have had that 15-10 win against Italy earlier on. But the Swiss doing well in this game, playing with a bit of confidence.
Yeah, I think the conditions favor the underdog here. I mean, obviously Germany's still ahead, but as far as these games have gone, Germany has been steamrolling. And the Swiss, a very good team. But in these conditions, I think with the wind going one way, all kind of zone play, their style is well suited to kind of hang in there and keep up with the Germans. Stay within striking distance, and you never know what might happen in the tail end of the game.
Now going upwind on offense, the Germans. Both teams scoring 2 nice upwind points in a row.
Müller, Van Vogel. Back to Müller. Reinert in the mix. Bola. Back to Müller. Faltvogel. Wanted to go to Dösche. Opted out. Staying behind the disc. Swiss front. Swiss defense doing a great job right here to contain the German attack. simply going side to side for the 4th or 5th time now. Reinert. Boyden-Mueller finally gets a touch and comes under. First touch of this point, now Mueller. Feldvogel. The two Boyden-Muellers playing in the middle, and then we almost get a connection from one to the other, rather dropped to Mueller. Feldvogel. Handling unit, patient, all 4 of them back.
Well, there's quite a passive zone from the I was going to say free speed squad there, the Swiss squad. I was going to compare it to the free speed zone, known for their 4-person cup, which is far more aggressive, puts a lot more pressure on the thrower. This just allowing the Germans to swing, want them to take a lot of passes, hoping there might be an unforced error.
Hoping the weather might work as the 8th defender, get him a high throw count, and maybe make a concentration or focus error. Not a bad strategy, but Döscher gets to Boyden-Mueller, and Samuel Boyden-Mueller drops back to dump. Mueller, Boyden-Mueller. Swiss make the call to melt Boyden-Mueller. Up and to the other side of the field. Feldvogel to Bula. Feldvogel again. Mueller. Around to Döscher. Mueller on the doorstep, or just about before that dump pass. Döscher back to Mueller. This one in for goal. Defense is coming, but Döscher takes it strong. Says he's in celebration while he's kind of licking the wounds of that harsh landing.
I think he was calling an injury. I'm not even sure if he landed in or out, but either way, he's calling an injury. Again, this is exactly what the German side don't want to do in this game, is that injure their stars, and Stefan Döscher is definitely a star on this German men's team. Seen him play in some of the other matches, playing O&D, which very few players will do in the tighter games. Played in the mixed division last time and was a star there as well.
He's got an excellent first name as well.
Terrible last name.
Hartmann in for Döscher. Boyden-Mueller, one throw later, gets that goal. The Germans very nonchalant with their goal scoring here, as though it's just a formality. Very little celebration sometimes.
Yeah, but it was Stefan Döscher's incredible rip out of the sky. These beautiful blue Hungarian skies that kept the disc alive. He went for this classic little give-go. Very difficult stop. Nico Müller putting a little too much air in that one. We see how huge he gets. You see him do a quick little WFDF hand signal for injury.
Yeah, really good. I thought that was a goal signal, actually. At first, I thought he's putting both hands up, signifying the goal, but absolutely reading out of the Rubenberg rules book, which he added those hand signals to, and good recognition by Liam Grant to see that one as the injury signing.
The gospel according to Rubenberg. Praise be to Woofdiff.
Praise be to Woofdiff. Ruben done lots of work, of course, for the administration and the rules implementation in this sport. The hand signal's one of his additions, but he's worked tirelessly on many modifications and new editions of our Bible, the rules we go by to govern this game. Big shout out to Rubenberg in Melbourne. I've had the pleasure of being on a few teams with him.
Were these Frisbee teams or drinking teams, or what kind of teams were these now?
Well, mostly Frisbee teams, but we've had a drink together once or twice as well. I played a lot of Ultimate with Alistair Dawn in Ultimate in Australia, whose sister Tegan Dawn. There's a near Callahan. Tegan Dawn is married to Rubenberg, so part of the family there. Now, the Germans on that one is flubbed. Did that hit the ground? looked like that throw got entirely away. We may have another German injury. Like you said, Liam, the last thing they need in this game. Now they're in a bit of a tight game, as tight as they've seen. They got a few players who have come off the pitch gingerly. No major injuries by what we can tell at this stage, but still three players have had to leave play because of tough landings.
Yeah, a little bit harder on this 3G surface. It was Philip Haas who got that amazing block to give the Germans the break opportunity.
Young, Müller, doorstep, survey, back to center. Haas, that's a shot for goal. That one counts. Mashavik with the goal. Germans put another one on the board with very little celebration again. 11-7, or shall we say 7-11. Might be time for a frozen Slurpee.
Our survey says ding, ding, ding. The throwers bookends from Philip Haas, the man who recently became a father.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, but he's a very young man, or at least I thought he was young. He's in his 31 now, but looks very young.
I love the way you say 30, Liam. You Irish have a way with those THs, consonant blends.
I know, I played on a few teams in the US and I was forced to wear the number 33 just for the entertainment alone.
I understand why. I'm entertaining just in you retelling that story. Ah, there he is, 33, Mueller.
A fellow Irishman.
With that name, certainly sounds like it.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of coverage of Nico Mueller through the years. Covered him first in London at the Under-23 World Championships, which is what it was called then. Made friends with the man, good fella. And has just grown so much as an ultimate player now. One of the best in Europe.
Yep, I've heard lots of his name, seen a handful of his games now. He seems to still be on the up. His stock is rising every time he plays. Van Bassen. For it. Now wound up. Sent deep. Metzger's there. It's in front. He's got there, but it popped up on a ground strip. Heck of a play to throw the body. But the ground helps out the Germans to knock the disc out of his hands.
Yeah, went for the kind of pancake Leo catch and just gets tossed up like a little pizza there.
Bounces off the ground. He really did make a great play to track it down and get it. A shame for, as far as he's concerned, that one bounced off the turf and out of his hands. Germany. Schlopp. Schmidt called on a travel and comes back. Goes upfield, too far upfield for Hugen. Germany switched to defense. Forêt. Mosiman. Switzerland approaching half. Van Bassen. Niv. Sure. Oh, puts a big one. That's got a nice shape to it. That one's going to count for a goal. Riedl with the goal after Metzger can't hang on to the big layout. They still managed to gather the goal.
Yeah, running that down with ease right in front of the ultileague.net fan.
Ultileague.net, a lot of excitement coming out of that story. The early stages of what could be a professional-like league. The wind really turning on now. We've got umbrellas flipping this way and that. Great help by the volunteers. This one may be broken.
But tell you who's not getting broken, and that is this German O-line. Who are coming out onto the field now.
Nico Müller and the Germans out back on the attack as we try and fix this parasol blown over. That is the indication of what kind of wind these players are dealing with. Nico Müller. Bula. Bula to Müller. Feldfovel. Wind up. Not given. Feldfovel. Feldfovel gets with a bit of momentum to Beutenmüller. Grind it.
Playing with kind of 4 handlers now, the Germans. There's 3 in the front of this free speed zone. Switzerland is not there, definitely not free speed there, most definitely Switzerland. And having those 4 handlers just allows you to keep swinging and gaining yards each time.
And you see them melt into a match defense. Feldfovel gets it. Müller behind him at pace, but it still goes forward to Beutenmüller. Beutenmüller to Müller. Quick pop, not in, but darn near. Beutenmüller, Holger. Bora. Oh, and the throw for goal can't be held on to. Bula puts it out just a bit too far outside as the defense was closing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a stall 9 3/4 throw. A little bit hopeful prayer, almost caught. That's what I want to do when he gets the stall 9. Might as well throw it towards the end zone and see what happens.
Yeah, better than getting stalled out with the disc in your hand. At least there was some effort made for a completion there. The Swiss in their own end zone. Van Driesch gets it off to Severin Rees. Rees back to Van Driesch. Moser. That one is out, and Holger makes sure of it.
Just trying to rack up the stats there. He was well out of bounds when he got that deep, but they all count on the stat sheet.
Counted as a block. Straight in, that could have been a travel if somebody was being meticulous. Feldfovel to Müller. Defense collapsed on him.
I can tell you, usually free speed are very meticulous with those travel calls, but known to be sticklers for the rules.
There's another goal by the Germans. Beutenmüller to Beutenmüller, brother to brother. We did hear a little bit about the Swiss being sticklers from Davide Mori in way back in Bruges for Tom's tourney. Said the free speed boys were calling a few offsides on them in odd situations. I remember Davide's response was, "This is not a Cincinnati. They don't need to call the offside in Tom's tourney." And I think in the final, Davide was lined up on the goal line just to keep his watchful eye on the Swiss, knowing that they were getting away with making some of those calls.
I know, actually played the Swiss outfit free speed at ECF in our last game last year. If we beat them, we would have got another bid for the Western region, Pelt versus free speed. We turned up about, let's say, 3 minutes before the game was started and started just heckling and chanting free speed for warming up. In their first point, they actually did a snake in the grass play against us, and we threw the snake. Now, there was very narrow sidelines at that tournament, so the snake stood near the sideline, pretty much half a meter away from the other players. So I was a little bit annoyed about that. It's like he didn't lie down in the back, which I think is the only way you're allowed to really do a snake in the grass. They also called offside on us, which we were not running down the pole, has to be said.
Love this game.
But you can see it maybe his good spirit as well. They're playing by the rules. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all. Miglioretto to Glure. Oh, Miglioretto, but there was a bid on that one. Moza. Mula holds off on the return pass. Now to Moza. Miglioretto. Furo. There's a gainer to Mueller. Furo. All the way across to Miglioretto. Finds Brutalin. Miglioretto. Furo. Miglioretto winds up, goes the other way, has Glure. Good patience. The Germans giving lots of space behind the disc right now. Not much space upfield. Swiss, good patience into the attacking half now. Glure. And the Germans making their calls to morph their defense. Mula around Moza. He puts it length of the field. This one's in the end zone. There's a contest. The defender is the bigger man, and Gross knocks it away.
Yeah, it's not a 50-50 ball when you have the big man Gross standing there. Didn't even have to reach that high. Pretty much shoulder height for him.
More like a 70-30. For the, I guess a 30-70 if you're from a thrower's perspective, seeing Gross down there. Germany gets it, whips a big early. Deegan underneath is misread completely. Misread, please report to the office. And the other way, look at this action end to end. In no time, the Swiss make theirs count. David Moza with the goal. 3 points away. 9-12, almost as many as anybody's put on the Germans thus far. One away from what Italy's put on them. So regardless of outcome of this game, it looks like Germany's gonna get away with the win, but the Swiss are really giving the old college try here, throwing everything they've got at them.
Yeah, we see pretty much 3 deep shots in a row. The first 2 not working. As you see this one going upwind, not a bad idea. Trying to hit Konrad Schlur, who jumped just marginally too early. And they waste no time in sending it back. And one man who does know how to read is David Mosers, who's streaking deep here. Now he knows how to read, but probably needs reading glasses at his old age.
He's not that old, Liam.
I'd say he's still probably faster than me. I'm gonna have to wait till he's in his 50s before I can probably overtake him.
Not long to go now. Less than a decade anyways. You reckon you'll maintain your youthful agility and speed while he ages treacherously?
I'm hoping there's be some kind of cyborg implants we get at that stage.
Tank legs. Mula with the disc. Fovel back to Mula. Ryan it. Germany having a look at this zone. Mueller. Bula in the mix here. Germany awfully patient right now. Michael Boynton Mueller's gone deep, but no throw available to get it to him. Now Holger Beutenmüller, the Germans. Steady attack. Nico Müller, Beutenmüller, nobody else. That's a goal. Germans can make it look so easy when they need to.
Yeah, they've been in cruise control for the entirety of this game. I know Switzerland have put some nice points on the board, but when the O-line comes out there and they're firing like they are now, they're unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Very difficult machine to put a spanner in the works with. There's, as you see, the Swiss are trying a bit of everything. They have given a few different approaches defensively, attack the German defense. They've mixed it up, and still no real answers, especially for stopping this O-line.
Yeah, the Swiss melange proving ineffective. Got to give a shout out to my Hungarian volunteers now acting as Mary Poppins, holding an umbrella for me. All the volunteers, quite young, a lot of them Hungarians, but they're very, very nice, putting a lot of good work in. So, as always, for any tournament, shout out to the volunteers. This is pretty much the only sport where I know you can get a lot of people to come and help out for free. Usually having fun as well, let it be said. But we're so lucky to have those generous people in our ultimate community.
Yeah, it must be said that as Liam said, these volunteers are doing a great job. Everyone here doing a great job. There's been some small organizational flaws. Some people reckon they are huge. Some people having a big old whinge on the social medias. We get to have a small joke about it here and there too. We want to make sure it's all done in good fun. People are, it's not the end of the world. It's a great time here in Győr, Hungary. And with each new day, this tournament just keeps getting better and better. So all you at home, you are missing a great one, and it is nothing but wonderful times here. Van Bassen goes the other way. Oh, I hear some pretenders in the background. Somebody's warming up to 1,000 miles. Switzerland, less than 1,000 miles in front of them, but it may feel like it against the German defense. Metzger with the disc. Dump back to Farot. Mossyman, he wound one up. Had a man going. Mossyman again. Brudelin directing traffic back to the handle. Brudelin's gone. Doesn't get the throw to come. Now he does. He's on his way back in, but defenders seem to be in front. Great hands by Brudelin. That one in for goal. Doesn't go. 99. Felix Wynn can't get his hands to it. Odermatt, rather. 99 from the Swiss team. Grosch. That one held on to. Germans. Bea. Attacking end, that one in, nice and easy. Lots of space in transition. Dusha with the goal.
Yeah, the Swiss side could just never recover after that shot went towards the end zone. Quick movement by the Germans, and they're just looking so good in this men's division.
Of course, lots of action before we do get to finals day, but everybody's got that feeling in this division that it is almost a given that we're going to see Germany and England in the final. I agree. I think they are head and shoulders above the rest of the competition, and as such, very excited to see that one come to fruition in the finals. The other divisions, a lot more parity, Liam. Women's division, you've got the stronghold favorites in the Germans. They are maybe the safest bet as the people's favorite.
They lost earlier today to the Russians, 15-13.
And that's where we're going with this. As much as they are the favorites, power pools, anything can happen. The Russians can get hot. The Italians have been hot until this morning. They lost their first game. They were 5-0 and lost to the Finns.
So no team undefeated, I believe, now in the women's division.
No team undefeated is correct. So those 4 teams we mentioned, 4 of the hot teams, but still 2 or 3 outsiders that could have a swinging chance of getting themselves into a semi as well. And the mixed division, we'll get to that after this. Miglioretto. Brutalin. Brutalin, a wide-shouldered man out there, a bit of a unit. Kind of clear the track when he comes running at you.
He actually tried out for Seattle Sockeye way back when. Was surprised he didn't make it. I think it was because he couldn't commit to a continued lifespan with the club.
That one goes over top of Gross. Müller now, the Swiss Müller, throws it at the head of his defender. Thought that might be a way of breaking things up. They're really trying everything. Throw it at the head as the last option, the kitchen sink. This one could be a game ender. Felix Wynn correcting me on names moments ago, now with disc in hand to throw a game-winning goal. Not quite. He gets the hockey assist. Boyton Müller gets the game-ending goal. It's 15-9 for Germany over the Swiss here today, Liam.
Yeah, bit of an exhibition game for those at home. 2 top teams here. Expect them to be in the quarters for sure anyway. I'm going to go run over and watch the Ireland-Austria men, the other pool game happening in this pool. But thanks very much for watching. It's been a great time.
It's been an excellent game. Don't you go anywhere. Lots of ultimate on these 2 fields. We're bringing it to you nonstop, so we will look forward to seeing you soon. I've been Stefan Rapazzo, joined with Liam Grant, and we'll see you all very soon.
Alti.tv